Imagine a world without words. Every thought is just a shadow inside your mind, unable to touch anyone else. No lullabies to soothe a child to sleep, no whispers of love, no stories passed down through generations. Humanity in that world would be like isolated islands, communicating only through gestures, glances, or primal growls. And yet, somehow, out of that vast silence, our ancestors found a way to turn breath into words, to transform sound into meaning. This is the story of that journey, stretching across hundreds of thousands of years, the origin of human speech. For centuries, the explanation seemed obvious. Scholars believed humans could speak because we had a uniquely lowered larynx, something no other species possessed. With this, they thought, came the ability to produce rich, complex sounds. But the illusion shattered. In 2001, scientists studying red deer discovered that they too could lower their larynx dramatically when roaring. What was once considered humanity's exclusive gift was suddenly not so special after all. So, if not the larynx, then what was the secret? This question opened the door to a series of revolutionary discoveries. In 2016, an experiment using real-time X-rays changed everything. Scientists filmed macaque monkeys as they vocalized, and the results were shocking. Anatomically, monkeys could produce a range of vowels strikingly similar to our own. So why don't they speak? The answer lies in the brain. Monkeys have the speaker system, but no conductor to orchestrate it. They lack the rapid, fine motor control needed to shape sounds into meaningful sequences. The revelation was clear. Speech wasn't about the hardware in the throat. It was about the software in the brain. And the next clue came from a small but crucial gene called FOXP2. In 2001, scientists studied a family in England known as the KE family. They were perfectly intelligent, yet struggled to speak fluently. The culprit? A mutation in the FOXP gene. FOXP isn't a magical language switch, but like a vital gear in a vast machine, it helps the brain control the precise movements of the tongue, lips, and vocal cords. Here's the twist. Neanderthals carried the very same version of FOXP, which raises a haunting question. If they had the gene and the tools, did Neanderthals also have voices that once filled the air? We can't unearth conversations, but fossils leave behind whispers of evidence. At the Pit of Bones in Spain, skulls over 430,000 years old revealed that our ancestors already had ears tuned to the frequency of human speech. They may not have spoken yet, but they were already ready to listen. In Kabara Cave, Israel, scientists analyzed a Neanderthal hyoid bone, the anchor for the tongue and larynx. Using advanced models, they found it functioned almost identically to ours. They could hear, they could articulate, and they had the gene to control it. Piece by piece, the picture sharpened. Language wasn't a sudden gift for Homo sapiens. It had been smoldering across many human lineages. Which begs the question, why did it ignite? Anthropologist Robin Dunbar offered a fascinating answer. Language evolved as grooming by mouth. Among primates, grooming is how bonds are built. But as early human groups grew larger, it became impossible to maintain relationships this way. You can't spend your entire day picking fleas off 50 friends. Language was the solution. With just a few words, you could bond with many at once, share who was trustworthy, who betrayed the group, or where food could be found. Picture those ancient campfires. Where once there was silence and scratching, now came hesitant sounds, clumsy but powerful. The first stories, awkward, fragmented, began weaving communities together. And from that moment, speech became the social glue of humanity. Language didn't just evolve in the brain, it left its imprint on the body. In 2019, researchers discovered that when humans shifted to farming, softer diets preserved a childlike overbite into adulthood. The unexpected result? It became easier to pronounce sounds like F and V. What we ate literally reshaped how we spoke. Our words were carved not just by our minds, but by our teeth and jaws. Around 100,000 years ago, something extraordinary appeared. In Blombos Cave, South Africa, people ground ochre in organized toolkits, perhaps to paint their bodies. In Morocco, perforated seashells strung into beads date back more than 80,000 years. These weren't survival tools, they were symbols, a silent language of identity, status, and community. For the first time, humans weren't just living, they were expressing. As Homo sapiens began their great migration out of Africa, language took its final leap, syntax. No longer just isolated words, but limitless combinations. Not just lion, river, but don't go to the river tomorrow morning because the lion that killed our kin yesterday will be waiting there. And with that, a superpower was born, the ability to create imaginary worlds. We spoke of gods, laws, justice, nations, things that did not exist in nature, yet bound thousands of strangers together in cooperation. A Neanderthal could shout, "There's a lion," but only Homo sapiens could say, "The great lion spirit protects our tribe." One is a fact, the other is a story. And stories change the course of history. Language wasn't born in a single miraculous moment. It was forged over hundreds of thousands of years. Ears that tuned in, brains that gained control, societies that demanded connection, and finally, the power of storytelling. The first words were likely not grand speeches, but whispers. The name of a loved one, a call for help, a warning of danger. And yet, from those fragile beginnings, humanity built the most powerful force in history, speech. Speech wasn't a gift, it was crafted through trial and error, breath by breath, story by story. From a rough grunt to a symphony of syntax, the echoes of that ancient journey still resonate today. In every song, every promise, every conversation we share. From the first whisper around an ancient campfire to the countless conversations we share today, speech has carried us across time. It is the thread that connects who we were, who we are, and who we may become. If you'd like to keep exploring humanity's greatest origins with us, consider joining our journey here on Origin Stories. A simple like, a subscription, and even a shared thought in the comments helps us continue uncovering the past and together shaping the stories of tomorrow.